Hello fellow readers and readeresses. This is episode 2 of The Lord of the Reeds 2, The Two Libraries. Alright, I didn't have anything interesting to say for the intro, and so... Intro? Interesting? Intro resting? Can you tell it's like 8 p.m. and I'm super exhausted and my cats are making all the noise in the background? Me neither. What is The Lord of the Reeds? Why, it's only the most precious TBR game. If you'd like to learn more about the rules of the game, you can watch episode 1 right here, or alternatively, you can read the very short but also very detailed rulebook, which you can find linked in the video description. In a nutshell, we need to get from here to here by way of this here 12-sided die. On the way, we shall encounter tiles, TBR jar, series, empty, which equals prompt cards, and the bad ones, formerly known as quicksand, but starting this episode are gonna be named dead marshes, thanks to, not necessarily in that order, to whom goes all the glory for coming up with this great name. Before we go any further, last time I pulled 3 prompt cards. The world is changing. Read a book set in a country different than yours, for which I picked Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Lady Galadriel, read the highest rated book on your TBR, covered by The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie, and Shelob, read a book told from a first-person point of view. For this I picked The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets by Nancy Springer. And I'm happy to report that I was able to read all 3 books, which means that I get to collect all 3 cards. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And I think that's about enough of preambles, so now, let's start the game by rolling for our companion on this potentially perilous journey. To camera 2! And we got a 3, which means that our companion for this game is gonna be Mary, whose skill is called Crafty Little Hobbit. This allows us to reuse one leftover book from last month, which is great because I have exactly 1 book that's left over. And Mary goes on the board to serve as my avatar. Now that all preparations are done, let's finally get to roll number 1. And we have a 3, again. 1, 2, 3, and we landed on the series. So, we landed on the series tile, and if you've been with me since the first installment of the game, you know that there used to be a series jar and I would pull a series from it and continue with it, but I decided to make things a little more easy and convenient for myself in this installment of the game, which is why I now simply choose the series I'm going to continue with, and I decided to go with Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Here, I actually meant to talk about the book Assassin's Quest, so please excuse me and proceed as though that's the book I'm talking about. This is an adult epic fantasy and the 3rd and final book in the Farseer trilogy. I read the first book back in 2022 maybe, and I absolutely loved it. It made my best books of the year. And then I read the 2nd book last year and I wasn't as impressed, but I have very high hopes for this one. I'm really hoping she's gonna stick the landing and I'm excited to finally finish it. Alright, so book number 1 for August has been selected and I'm really excited for it. Now let's go to roll number 2. And we have a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof, very, very close. Now, that certainly could have ended badly, and I'm really happy that it didn't. Okay, let's go. The camera keeps on focusing on Amanda. The Lonely Mountain. Read a standalone book. Very nice. I'm gonna look through my books and I'm gonna come back shortly. So, after a very short consideration, I decided to go with You Like It Darker by Stephen King. This is the Bulgarian edition, by the way. This is a collection of adult fantasy, thriller, mystery, and horror short stories, and I am really excited to read it. I know that Stephen King has a great affinity for writing short stories and for writing any of the genres that I just mentioned. This is, I think, his newest book, and I saw it the other day at a book fair here in the city, and I couldn't resist picking it up. By the way, this is a paperback with a dust jacket. You don't see those very often, but I have to admit, I find this one specifically very pretty. I really like the cover. Amanda, stop stealing the focus. Ooh, and I also very much like the blurb. Stories about destiny, luck, and the folds of reality. Sounds cool. Looking forward to this one. I had to pivot Amanda's portrait a little to the side. It's not out of disrespect whatsoever, it's just for the sake of convenience. So, 2 books down, hopefully not many more to go. Now let's go into roll number 3. And we have a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we landed on an empty tile again. Now, we're a bit slow, but what was the saying? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. All right, let's see. Ooh, The Black Gate. Read a hardback book with black cover. Rather specific, but I'm excited to find a book like that. So it turns out I have significantly fewer hardbacks with black covers than I initially thought. Actually, I narrowed it down to only 2 books, and from those 2, I decided to go with Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte in this beautiful hardback edition. I think we can count it as a black cover, even though it has some gold and some red on it. It also has these beautiful golden edges, which are actually magnetic, so it makes the book very easy to keep open, or it's supposed to at least. This edition is rather fancy, and I have 2 other ones, but I'm gonna try to read the book in this particular one so that I can fulfill the prompt properly. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this is a classic Gothic romance or something of that sort, maybe a little bit of a mystery, a little bit of a thriller. I'm not 100% sure. I've never read this book, even though it's so very popular, and I've been meaning to do so all my life, but I'm really excited to read it. So, 3 books down, and for all 3 of them, I have very high expectations, so August is shaping up to be a very nice reading month. Now let's go into roll number 4. And we have a 9. Is it 9? Yeah, it is. 6 is over here. Good. I mean, I say good, but God only knows where this is gonna land me, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lovely. We're chugging along ahead nicely. So, let's see what the cards have for me right now. The Battle of Helm's Deep. Read a book with a fortress/castle on the cover or in the title. Very cool, though I can't think of a single book right now that has these. And I have it. Let's see. Okay, this took absolutely forever to select because, as it turns out, I have way more books with castles on their covers than I ever thought, but the problem for a lot of them, especially the ones that I really wanted to read, is that they were usually a part of a series, and I don't want to start a new series, which is why I decided to go with The Fall of Gondolin by J.R.R. Tolkien. As you can see, we have a castle over here. This is one of the stories that were edited by his son Christopher Tolkien, and I'm really excited to read it because I've heard about it so many things, but I've never actually personally read it, and I'm always eager to learn more about the Middle Earth. It's also illustrated by Alan Lee, and as you can see here, there are some fascinating illustrations. There's another one. Ooh, I'm excited. So we have 4 great books, and I'm really eager to learn which one is going to be book number 5, so let's get into roll number 5. You know what I just realized? I was rolling D10 instead of D12 this whole time. All right, never mind. Let's go. And we have a 9 or a 6. Sorry. Yes, definitely 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're nearing a very critical spot. So, as it turns out, I've been screwing myself majorly all the way until now, but whatever. All right, let's do this. The Undying Lands. Read a book from a long series, 10 plus books, and I know exactly which book I'm picking. If you've watched my channel for a little while, you know that me and Gabby from Gabby Likes to Read are doing a buddy read of the Wheel of Time series, and this month we were supposed to reading The Shadow Rising, and so I am going to pick this book to be the one to cover this prompt. This series needs no particular introduction, I don't think, from myself. Robert Jordan and his series have become very popular recently, especially with the TV show. I am particularly excited about this book because up until now I've been basically rereading because I read the first 3 books a few years ago, and this is where I stopped the series, so now this is gonna be new for me. Good times. All right, 5 books on the TBR, and it's starting to become slightly intimidating maybe, and I'm really hoping this is gonna be the last roll, because it has the chance to either be that, or to be the one before the last one, or to be the one that's gonna send me into a spiral because I have to go back. Please let it not be that. Let's go into roll number 6. And we have an 8. I think this should be good. Oh yes, it definitely is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! So we managed to finish the map, and as a reward I get to pick a book that I want to read this month, and that book is going to be Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. This is the Bulgarian edition. This is, I believe, sci-fi, dystopian, and that's all I know about it. A friend of mine recommended it, and I am really excited to read it. So my TBR for August is going to include You Like It Darker by Stephen King, Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, The Fall of Gondolin by J.R.R. Tolkien, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. But wait, there's more, because every single month I participate in 2 monthly reading challenges. The Buzzword Reading Challenge created by Kayla from Books and Lala, and the Adventure in Eldia created by G from Book Roast, both of whom are going to be linked in the video description. For the Buzzword Reading Challenge, the word for August is like, which is why I'm gonna double up with You Like It Darker by Stephen King. And for the Adventure in Eldia, the prompt for August is read a friend's favorite book, which is why I'm yet again gonna double up with Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. And that, my friends, makes a total of only 6 books on my August TBR. Granted, some of them are big, and I also have Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff, which I'm still reading, left over from July, but it doesn't matter. I think this is the smallest amount of books I had on my TBR for a very long time. On top of that, I am really hyped for absolutely every single book on this list, especially a few of them, and I suspect that August is going to be a great reading month. I hope exactly the same thing for you, and please let me know which is the book you're the most excited to read in the month of August. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to see how I did with my reading in July, check out this video. Bye!